host of the Daily Express's Royal Roundup podcast. Good to see you this morning. It's interesting, isn't it, that as much as we need to reflect on the life of Her Majesty, we also, as Cameron was talking about, what happens now with the King.
Yes.
And it is, although we normally have a gap between looking back and looking forward, when it comes to the royal family, the two are absolutely interlinked, and we do need to look forward as much as backwards, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, this is a time of remembrance and thanks, and all the details will come shortly. You know, people already messaging me this morning about, you know, when will the coronation happen? And I think we just need to just take this moment to just realise, you know, this has been in the planning for a long, long time, and everything that happens now that we'll see from the royal family, the Queen will have wanted to happen. You know, she was extremely close to Charles, and, you know, he was seeing her daily.
Yes, that was a sort of telltale sign almost, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Extremely close, and they would have talked about these things. And, you know, and he has been so well trained in the years, you know, by her side with 70 years of service, you know, on huge events. So I think we're in safe hands.
And these events are even rehearsed, aren't they? I mean, there always was a running joke from the Queen Mother in her day that she said to her staff, for heaven's sake, close the windows. I don't want to hear any more of my own funeral. Because early hours of the morning, she was in Clarence House, early hours of the morning, there would be a rehearsal of some sort of funeral arrangement. And I imagine the Queen has had to put up with the same thing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And she's had lots and lots of time to prep for it, obviously.
She would have had a say in it as well,
Yes, and she also did see, obviously, her late husband's funeral. And I can imagine in those moments, like any you know, spouse would, thinking, OK, so this is maybe a bit of an indicator of what's to come for me. You know, it does sound awful, but I can imagine that might have been, you know, going through her thoughts.
But there can also be, because she did seem to be preparing the way somewhat recently. There are more duties for Charles. The announcement about Camilla being, you know, she wanted Camilla to be known as Queen Consort.
Yes.
She seemed to be getting things in order.
Yes.
She did.
If you like. And
she did.
There's a peace with that, isn't there? I mean, hopefully for her, but also for us as a nation. Absolutely.
And, you know, we've seen more of them in the run-up to this awful moment. We've seen Charles and Camilla very much working as a team and a unit. And I think the nation, you know, knows them a lot better, and their relationship with the public is a lot better than it was in the 90s as well.
Gosh, yes.
So yes, for what will happen in the next 10 days, it will be lots of services, Thanksgiving, you know, lots of things which have already been in the
remembrance that you can go and sign.
Right.
Because people need these things, don't they?
Yeah.
They need a focal point for their grief.
Yeah.
And just by looking at Buckingham Palace this morning, people are already beginning to gather.
Yeah.
There is a sense, when you're grieving somebody like that, there is a sense of wanting to share it with others, isn't there?
Yes. And I think, you know, whatever family you're from, you know, grief is something that we can all sort of share together for whoever we are grieving. And I think people are very respectful of the fact, and everyone worldwide has a renounced respect for the Queen. So, yes, we've already seen the flowers, you know, coming outside Buckingham Palace this morning as well. So I'm sure just as the hours go on, we'll see more and more.
It's interesting you talk about the world having respect for the Queen, and I think that's absolutely right. It's different here in the UK, though, isn't it? And Neil's been in touch, morning Neil. He says, not only has our country lost a Queen, the world, he says, but I would say more the UK, has lost a grandmother. Queen Elizabeth should be remembered as the Great Queen.
Yeah.
Because there is something much more personal to this nation in particular, I think, isn't there?
Absolutely. It's very personal. And as you were saying, actually, earlier on the show, I feel like everyone thinks that they know her so well, and they've grown up with her, and she's touched different generations along the way. And, you know, it was only this year when we had all of those celebrations. And what a fantastic,
it was this year, wasn't it? I'm so glad we made it.
Yes.
She made it to the Platinum
Yeah,
Jubilee.
absolutely. And, you know, that will give, you know, memories for the whole nation.
She must have realised, if she'd never realised it before, how much she was loved.
Yes.
Because she must have seen the crowds and felt the jubilation.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, whatever, you know, newspaper you were looking at, TV screen, going down the street, you know, everything was there to just show the love and the respect for the Queen.
Do you remember when she was still in Windsor, for the end of the Platinum Jubilee, she was still in Windsor Castle, and we all hoped she would come down to the palace.
Yeah.
But all of the commentators were saying she may not,
No,
you know,
she
she's a
may
bit
not.
frail, she may not make it. And then she did, and it was the most wonderful moment,
It was. And those pictures we'll see forever. You know, they'll be in books forever to always look back on over her 70 years of service.